Burnley Football Club is a professional Premier League club based in Burnley, Lancashire. Nicknamed the Clarets, due to the dominant colour of their home shirts, they were one of the founder members of the Football League in 1888. The club colours of claret and blue were adopted in 1910 in tribute to the dominant club of English football Aston Villa. It was thought the colours might lift and inspire Burnley too. Their home ground since 1883 has been Turf Moor. Burnley have been Football League champions twice, in 1920 a Euro 21 and 1959 a Euro 60, and have won the FA Cup once, in 1914. The Clarets also reached a 1961 quarter-finals of the European Cup. They are one of only 3 teams to have won all top 4 professional divisions of English football, the other 2 being Wolverhampton Wanderers and Preston North End. The club spent most of its early history in England's top 2 divisions, but remained outside the top flight from 1976 to 2009. From 1985 to 1992 they had a 7-year spell in the lowest tier of the Football League. In 1987 they narrowly avoided relegation to the conference. Between 2000 and 2009 they played in the second tier of English football, until they gained promotion to the Premier League for the first time in 33 years after winning the 2009 Championship playoff final, but were relegated after a single season. The club will play in the Premier League again in 2014 a Euro 15 after being promoted at the end of the 2013 a Euro 14 season. History, early days. During May 1882, Burnley Rovers Football Club decided to shift their allegiance from rugby union to football. Playing in various blue and white kits for their first few years, the club played their first competitive game in October 1882 against Astley Bridge in the Lancashire Challenge Cup, that game ending in an 8-0 defeat. In 1883 the club moved to Turf Moor and remained there, only their Lancashire rivals Preston North End having occupied the same ground continuously for longer. Burnley first appeared in the FA Cup in 1885 a Euro 86 but were ignominiously beaten 11-0 when eligibility restrictions meant that their reserve side had to be fielded against Darwin. When it was decided to found the Football League for the 1888 a Euro 89 season, Burnley were among the 12 founders of that competition. Burnley, now known as the Triffites, Murats or Royalites, finished 9th in the first season of the league but only one place from bottom in 1889 a Euro 90 following a 17-game winless streak at the start of the season. That season did, however, present Burnley with their first honours, winning the Lancashire Cup with a 2-0 final victory over Blackburn Rovers. Before Burnley won a trophy again, they were relegated to the second division in 1896 a Euro 97. They responded to this by winning promotion the next season, losing only 2 of their 30 matches along the way before gaining promotion through a playoff series then known as Test matches. Burnley and Stoke City both entered the last match, to be played between the 2 teams, needing a draw for promotion. A 0-0 draw ensued, reportedly the match without a shot at goal, and the league immediately withdrew the Test match system in favour of automatic promotion and relegation. Ironically, the league also decided to expand the top division after the Test match series of 1897 a Euro 98 and the other 2 teams also went into the top division for the following year, negating the effect of Burnley and Stoke City's reputed collusion. Burnley were relegated again in 1899 a Euro 1900 and found themselves at the centre of a controversy when their goalkeeper, Jack Hillman, attempted to bribe their opponents in the last match of the season, resulting in his suspension for the whole of the following season. During the first decade of the 20th century, Burnley continued to play in the second division, even finishing in bottom place in one season, although the indications of success just around the corner were evident in 1911 a Euro 12 when only a loss in the last game of the season denied the club promotion. Clarets glory either side of World War I. Burnley changed their colours from green to the claret and sky blue of Aston Villa, the most successful club in England at the time, for the 1910 a Euro 11 season. The 1912 a Euro 13 season saw them win promotion to the first division once more, as well as reaching the FA Cup semi-final, only to lose to Sunderland. The next season was one of consolidation in the top flight, but more importantly their first major honour, the FA Cup, 1-1 0-0 in the last final played at Crystal Palace against Liverpool. This cup final was historic in that King George V became the first reigning monarch to present the cup to the winning captain. World War I impacted the 1914-15 season, in which Burnley finished fourth in the First Division, before English football reorganised itself and took a back seat to the needs of the conflict. Upon resumption of full-time football in 1919 20, Burnley finished second in the First Division to West Bromwich Albion, but this was not a peak, merely presaging Burnley's first ever league championship in 1920 21. Burnley lost their opening 3 matches that season before going on a 30-match unbeaten run, a record for unbeaten games in a single season that lasted until Arsenal went unbeaten through the whole of the 2003-04 season. Burnley finished third the following season, but thereafter followed a steady deterioration of their position, with only 5th place in 1926-27 offering respite from a series of near relegations which culminated in demotion in 1929-30. Low points through World War II, Burnley struggled in English football's second tier, narrowly avoiding a further relegation in 1931-32 by only 2 points. The years through to the outbreak of the Second World War were characterised by uninspiring league finishes, broken only by an FA Cup semi-final appearance in 1934-35 and the arrival of Tommy Lawton. Burnley participated in the varying football leagues that continued throughout the war, but it wasn't until the 1946-47 season that league football proper was restored. Golden days. In the first season of post-war league football, Burnley gained promotion through second place in the Second Division. Additionally, there was a run to the FA Cup final, with Aston Villa, Coventry City, Luton Town, Middlesbrough and Liverpool being defeated before Charlton Athletic beat Burnley 1-0 after extra time in the final at Wembley. Burnley immediately made an impact the top division, finishing third in 1947-48 as the club began to assemble a team capable of regularly aiming for honours. 1956-57 saw a club record 9-0 victory over New Brighton in the FA Cooper Euro despite missing a penultimate Euro, and the following season former player Harry Potts became manager. The team of the 1950s revolved around the midfield duo of Jimmy Adamson and Jimmy McElroy, and these two were key to the championship-winning team of 1959-1960 managed by Potts. After a tense season in which Tottenham Hotspur and Wolverhampton Wanderers were the other main protagonists in the chase for the league title, Burnley clinched a championship at Maine Road, Manchester with a 2-1 victory on May 2, 1960 with goals from Brian Pilkington and Trevor Meredith. Although they had been in contention all season, Burnley had never led the table until this last match was played out. The following season Burnley played in European competition for the first time, beating Reims and losing to Hamburger SV, lost in an FA Cup semi-final and finished fourth in the league, and the highlights of the 1961-62 season were finishing second in the league and a run to the FA Cup final, where a Jimmy Robson goal was Burnley's only reply to 3 goals from Spurs. Although far from a two-man team, the departure of McElroy to Stoke City and retirement of Adamson coincided with a decline in fortunes. Adamson reputedly turned down the England manager's post, which then went to Alf Ramsey. More damaging was the impact of the 1961 abolition of the maximum wage. Nonetheless, they managed to retain their first division place throughout the decade, finishing third in 1966 and reaching the semi-final of the League Cup in 1968-69. They also reached a quarter-finals of the 1966-67 Fairs Cup, in which they were knocked out by Eintracht Frankfurt. QTR = quarter-final. The remainder of the decade was otherwise one of mid-table mediocrity, with Potts being replaced by Adamson as manager in 1970. Adamson was unable to halt the slide, and relegation followed in 1970-71, ending a long unbroken top-flight spell during which, more often than not, they had been in the upper reaches of the league table. Burnley had several players with international caps in the 1950s and Euro 1960s, including, for England, Ray Pointer, Colin MacDonald, and John Connolly, a member of the 1966 World Cup squad, for Northern Ireland Jimmy McElroy and for Scotland Adam Blacklaw. Burnley won the second division title in 1972 Euro 73 with Adamson still in charge. In the first division, led by elegant playmaker Martin Dobson, the side managed sixth in 1974 as well as reaching another FA Cup semi-final. This time losing out to Newcastle United. The following season the club achieved 10th place but were victims of one of the great FA Cup shocks of all time when Wimbledon, then in the Southern League, beat Burnley 1-0 at Turf Moor. Relegation from the First Division in 1975 Euro 76 saw the end of Adamson's tenure as manager. Decline in near oblivion. 3 nondescript seasons in the Second Division followed before relegation to the Third Division for the first time in 1979 Euro 80. Of 42 league games, Burnley could not manage a win in either their first or last 16. 2 seasons later, now under the management of Brian Miller, they were promoted as champions. However, this return was short-lived, lasting only 1 year. Albeit a year in which the team reached the quarter-finals of the FA Cup and the semi-final of the League Cup, recording victories over Spurs and Liverpool in the latter, although the 1-0 win over Liverpool in the League Cup semi-final second leg was not enough for an appearance in the final as Burnley had lost the first leg 3-0. Managerial changes continued to be made in an unsuccessful search for success. Miller was replaced by Frank Casper in early 1983, he by John Bond before the 1983 Euro 84 season and Bond himself by John Benson a season later. Benson was in charge when Burnley were relegated to the 4th level of English football for the first time ever at the end of the 1984 Euro 85 season. Martin Buchan and then Tommy Kavanagh saw the side through the 1985 Euro 86 season before Miller returned for the 1986 Euro 87 season, the last match of which is known as the Orient Game. For the 1986 Euro 87 season, the Football League had decided to introduce automatic relegation and promotion between the 4th Division and the Conference League, the top tier of non-league football. Although, in retrospect, this has only served to blur the lines between professional and semi-professional leagues in England, at the time it was perceived that teams losing league status might never recover from this. Additionally, Burnley had a new local rival in Colne Dynamos who were rapidly progressing through the English non-league system at the same time as the former champions of England were in the lowest level of the league. After a disastrous season, Burnley went into the last match needing a win against Leyton Orient. A 2-1 win, with goals from Neil Grucock and Ian Britton, was enough to keep Burnley in Division 4, although even that achievement still relied on a loss by Lincoln City in their last game of the season. Recovery. In May 1988, Burnley were back at Wembley. This time to play Wolves in the final of the Football League trophy. A capacity crowd of 80,000 people packed Wembley was a record for a match between two teams from English football's 4th tier, as Wolves won 2-0. In 1991 Euro 92, Burnley were champions in the last ever season of the 4th Division before the league reorganisation, and 2 years later they won the new Division 2 playoffs and gained promotion to Division 1 under Jimmy Mullen. The 2 was as a result of a match at Wembley, this time against Stockport County. Relegation followed after 1 season and in 1997 Euro 98 only a last day 2-1 victory over Plymouth Argyle ensured a narrow escape from relegation into Division 3. Chris Waddell was manager in that season, but his departure and the appointment of Stan Ternent that summer saw the club start to make further progress. In 1999 Euro 2000 they finished Division 2 runners-up and gained promotion to Division 1. Championship years. During the 2000 Euro 01 and 2001 Euro 02 seasons, Burnley emerged as serious contenders for a promotion playoff place in the Championship. By 2002 Euro 03 the side's form had declined despite a good FA Cup run. This was repeated the following season and in June 2004 Ternent's 6-year reign as manager came to an end and Steve Cotterill was appointed as manager of the club. Cotterill's first year in charge produced 2 notable cup runs, knocking out Premier League clubs Liverpool and Aston Villa, and a 13th place finish in the Championship. He was not able to improve on this the following season, and Burnley finished 17th. Burnley made a good start to the 2006 Euro 07, but their form tailed away badly in mid-season, leaving them threatened by relegation. The 2006 Euro 07 squad set a club record for consecutive league games without a win, with their 18th winless game against Luton Town meaning they were one worse than the 17 league game streak of the 1889 Euro 1890 season. The winless streak was finally broken in April, as Burnley beat Plymouth Argyle 4-0 at Turf Moor, and a run of good form thereafter saw Burnley finish comfortably above the relegation places and ensured they remained in the Championship for the 2007 Euro 08 season. The following season Burnley played poorly, and their style of football was criticised, eventually leading to the departure of Steve Cotterill in November 2007. His replacement was Owen Coyle. Coyle led the team to a total of 62 points for the season, their largest total for 8 years. In Coyle's first full season in charge ended with the Clarets' highest league finish since 1976, fifth in the Championship, qualifying the club for the playoffs. Burnley beat Reading 3-0 on aggregate in the semi-final, and went on to beat Sheffield United 1-0 in the final at Wembley Stadium, promoting Burnley to the Premier League, a return to the top flight after 33 years. Wade Elliott scored the goal. Premier League and recent times, the town of Burnley became the smallest town to host a Premier League club. This being the club's 52nd season in the top flight of English football. Burnley's home form in 2009 Euro 10 started well, including a 1-0 win against reigning champions Manchester United and an identical scoreline over top 6 club Everton shortly afterwards. However, away form was poor, epitomised by a 3-2 defeat to local rivals Blackburn Rovers in October. Manager Coyle left Burnley in January 2010, to manage Bolton Wanderers, a club for which he played from 1993 to 1995. He was replaced by Brian Laws, with Russ Wilcox as his assistant and Graham Alexander appointed as player coach. Burnley's form, which had already proved difficult to sustain in the last months of Coyle's reign, continued to decline under the new management, and Burnley were relegated after a single season back in the top flight. Burnley's last match in the Premier League before their relegation was a victory over fourth-placed Tottenham Hotspur 4-2 on the final day of the season. Burnley started the new 2010 Euro 11 season as one of the favourites for promotion but were inconsistent, and Laws was dismissed as manager in December 2010 with the team in 9th place. Laws was replaced by Eddie Howe, with Jason Tindall as his assistant. Burnley ended the 2010 Euro 11 season in 8th place, and therefore remained in the Championship for the following campaign. On October 12, 2012 it was confirmed that Eddie Howe had left Burnley to rejoin his hometown club Bournemouth along with assistant manager Jason Tindall due to personal reasons. On October 30, 2012 former Watford manager Sean Dyche took over as new manager of Burnley. On April 21, 2014, Burnley were promoted to the Premier League for the 2014 Euro 15 season after beating Wigan Athletic 2-0 with goals from Ashley Barnes and Michael Kightly. This will be the club's 53rd season in the top flight. Players, as of July 9, 2014. First team squad, note, flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Development squad, note, flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Youth squad, note, flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Out on loan, note, flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Notable former players, for a list of players with over 100 league appearances for the club, see List of Burnley FC players. For a list of players with 50 Euro 99 league appearances for the club, see List of Burnley FC players. For a list of past and present internationals, see List of Burnley FC internationals. Current management, kit. In the early years, various designs and colours were used by Burnley. Throughout their first 8 years these were various permutations of blue and white. After 3 years of claret and amber stripes with black shorts, For much of the 1890s a combination of black with amber stripes was used, although the club wore a shirt with pink and white stripes during the 1894 Euro 95 season. Between 1897 and 1900 the club used a plain red shirt, and from 1900 until 1910 the club changed to an all-green shirt with white shorts. In 1910 the club changed their colours to claret and sky blue, the colours that they have now had for the majority of their history, save for a spell in white shirts and black shorts during the 1930s. On March 4, 2007, Burnley's away kit for the 2006 Euro 07 season won the Best Kit Design Award at the Football League Awards at the Grosvenor House Hotel in London. On Monday 4 June 2007 the new home kit for the 2007 Euro 08 season was released, echoing the 1950s shirt. All claret with a blue V-neck and rims on the end of the arms which sport the word Burnley. It featured gold trim and a new gold logo for the club's 125th anniversary. For the championship match against Stoke City on November 24, 2007, Burnley wore a commemorative 125th anniversary shirt based on their first kit. Blue and white stripes with black trim shorts and white socks. The 2008 Euro 09 home kit was claret with sky blue arms and a sky blue stripe under the right arm, while the away kit was mostly sky blue with a claret trim. The club have confirmed that for the 2009 Euro 10 season they will wear a kit similar to the kit worn when Burnley won the old First Division title in 1959 Euro 60, to commemorate the 50th anniversary of that achievement. The club also adopted a new badge for 2009 Euro 10, closely based on the previous crest which was first used by the champions during the 1960 summer tour to North America. Kit manufacturers and shirt sponsors. Backup shirt sponsors, 2012 Euro 14, Oak Furniture Land. Short sponsors, 2007 Euro 08 JD Sports, 2008 Euro 09 TheHut.com, 2010 Euro 11 Sealy, 2011 Euro 13 American Crew. Club mascot. The club's mascot is Bertie B, who they share with Brentford's mascot by the same name. He wears the 1882 shirt and is popular with the Burnley fans. He became well known for rugby tackling a streaker on the pitch who had evaded the stewards, and appeared on the BBC television sporting panel show They Think It's All Over after the event. In the 2006 Euro 07 season, he was also joined by Holland's Pie Stan the Pie Man, due to a sponsorship deal. Stadium. Burnley have played their home games at Turf Moor since 1883. The stadium is located on Harry Potts Way, in honour of the 1958 Euro 1970 team manager. It now consists of 4 stands, the James Hargreaves stand, the Jimmy McElroy stand, the Bob Lord stand and the David Fishwick stand for away fans. The current capacity is 22,616 all-seated. Post-WWI crowds in the stadium averaged in the 30,000 to Euro 40,000 range, with a record attendance set in 1924 against Huddersfield Town in a FA Cup match when 54,755 attended the match. In 2008, plans were made to extend the stadium to a capacity of around 28,000. This capacity increase would include a second tier attached to the Bob Lord stand, along with a complete redevelopment. In addition, a new stand was planned to replace the cricket field stand, which would also hold a cricket pavilion and hotel. In late 2008, these plans were put on hold as general economic conditions worsened in the UK. On promotion to the Premier League in 2009, it was estimated that approximately £1 a million of work would be required to bring the ground up to Premier League standards. On November 25, 2009, Chairman Barry Kilby stated that at the end of the season, the club would look back into the proposed redevelopment of the cricket field stand. On December 16, 2009, the new ground development plans were unveiled in the match-day programme against Arsenal. These include a brand new cricket field stand, redevelopment of the Bob Lord stand and 2 corners filled in. However, the building work would have to wait for an increase in attendance and promotion and stabilisation back in the Premier League. Supporters, Burnley were listed second out of a list of 92 respective Football League clubs with the most rivals, with Blackburn Rovers, Halifax Town and Stockport County considering Burnley their main rival and Preston North End, Rochdale and Blackpool considering them their second main rival. Burnley consider their biggest rivalry to be with Blackburn. Games between them are known as the East Lancashire Derby. Preston have always been regarded as Burnley's second biggest rivals, although Bolton have in recent season become much bigger rivals than in the past, mainly due to Owen Coyle's switch between the two clubs in 2010. Some of the club's fans play Burnley FC supporters team in the Internet Football Association Supporters League, which is made up of over 80 similar teams. The club badge is based on the badge used by Burnley FC on the classic 1975 Euro 1979 V home shirt. The team was formed in 2007, when they were challenged to a game by their Preston North End counterparts, a game that ended in a 6-1 defeat. They subsequently entered the IFASL. In early 2012 the Prince of Wales confirmed that he is a supporter of Burnley FC. Prince Charles visits the town regularly and has taken a close, personal interest in the borough's regeneration and development. His various charities support numerous projects within the town and he visits Burnley regularly. Tony Blair's former Director of Communications. Alistair Campbell is a lifelong supporter Burnley FC fan. He writes about their exploits in a column called Turf Moor Diaries for the Fan House UK football blog and is regularly involved in events with the club. In popular culture, the club are referenced in the 2011 comedy film The In-Betweeners when the main characters share their coach pickup with a group of noisy and boisterous Burnley fans. The fans sing "We love you Burnley, we do." And later, "Can you hear the Preston sing? I can't hear a fucking thing." Two of the club's chants. Irritated by their constant chanting, Will narrates that when asked, "I always say I like football. But Burnley? Burnley can fuck off." The club's supporters also briefly appear in the 1966 feature film Help. In a scene where footage of a crowd scene from the 1962 FA Cup final against Tottenham Hotspur is used. Managers. Honours: League, Premier League Division 1, Football League Division 1 winners, 1920 Euro 21, 1959 Euro 60, Championship Division 2, Football League Division 2 winners, 1897 Euro 98, 1972 Euro 73, Football League Championship runners-up, 2013-14, Football League Championship playoff winners, 2008 Euro 09, League 1 Division 3, Football League Division 3 winners, 1981 Euro 82, Football League Division 2 playoff winners, 1993 Euro 94 League 2 Division 4. Football League Division 4 winners, 1991 Euro 92, Burnley are one of a few teams to win the championship of all top four professional divisions since the current structure emerged in 1958. Cup, FA Cup, winners, 1914, FA Community Shield, winners, 1973, Shed, 1960, Anglo-Scottish Cup, winners, 1978 Euro 79 Club Records, Record League victory, 9 Euro 0 v Darwen, Division 1, January 9, 1892, Record Cup victory, 9 Euro 0 v Penrith, FA Cup, Round 1, November 17, 1984 also v Crystal Palace, February 10, 1909 and v New Brighton, January 26, 1957, Record League defeat, 0 Euro 10 v Aston Villa, Division 1, August 29, 1925. Record Cup defeat, 0 Euro 11 v Darwen, FA Cup, first round, October 17, 1885. Record home attendance, 54,775 v Huddersfield Town, FA Cup, Round 3, Turf Moor, February 23, 1924, undefeated run 30 league games between 6 September 1920 and 25 March 1921 a Euro a record for many years, most league appearances, 522 Jerry Dawson, most league goals, 178 George Beale, most league goals in a season, 35 George Beale, Division 1, 1927. A Euro 28, most points in a season, 93 Sky Bet Championship, 2013-14, most capped player, 51 Jimmy McElroy a Euro Northern Ireland, Record transfer fee paid, a £3 million Stephen Fletcher, Hibernian, June 30, 2009. Record transfer fee received, a £7 million J. Rodriguez, Southampton, June 10, 2012. Top league goal scorers, notes. References. External links, Burnley FC official website, Burnley FC a Euro Vital Burnley, Burnley FC a Euro Clarets Mad, The Longside Forum, The Longside, Burnley FC a Euro Clarets Trust.